Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Addo's Playtime. Today, we're jumping back into Oxygen and Not Included, where in the last episode, we finished up our sleet wheat farm and started to cool this off enough that they're starting to pop, and it is a wild farm. It was wild. Getting all this together was wild. Anyways, yeah, so we've got all of it done, and now we'll be moving on to probably the pinch of peppers. I think we'll start getting those in here. We'll get some seeds in here and probably have to change the environment, the atmosphere that's in here. Because if I remember correctly, the pinch of peppers, do they need some kind of special environment? I can't remember. So let's look at them for a second. They need a temperature range of 35 to 85. And I think air pressure doesn't really matter what kind of gas, I guess. So these are in oxygen. These are in oxygen as well. Well, there's a lot of oxygen outside the base now. We've been emptying some tanks in some areas, but I do know that even in here, as this is chlorine gas, these guys are still growing. So we'll have any kind of environment, making sure that the pressure is above 100, which this one is, but it's got slime lung. I don't know if I want slime lung and touching that. So we may empty this out and then put a spare empty tank somewhere so that we can have these guys in a decent environment. Oxygen, just seems like the best option. Okay, so with that all being said, we have a couple things to get on the docket for today. One thing I'd like to do is increase the number of rockets that we have. We haven't played around with our rocket for a very long time, built this up a while ago, and we need to get this situated so that we can go off to some other planets. I would like to try to start the process of getting ourselves landed on another planet. Now, this is an icy planet, I believe. It's the Toxel one, so I'm going to guess it's like lots of slime lung and other things in this one. But as you can see, because of the fact that it is wicked cold, nothing is here. We do seem to have a hot piece of abyssalite here, but I don't know if 32 degrees Celsius would classify as something hot. But we also, on our star map, found two other planets. Now, this one I know is the water one, and this one appears to be the frigid one, but for some reason, this one, I'm guessing that this one is kind of the swampy one. So, yeah. But we also need to set up a place where we can kind of shoot off to other planets. I believe that we should be able to transport to this particular one, but we'll have to land on the other two. I don't really see... Oh, this one is a planet as well. All right, so we could easily go to this one and harvest the regolith from it. It has one single steam vent. All right. This has two water on it. Subsurface, it's metal pour. It's got an iron volcano. What do you have on you? Oh boy, lots of good things. Do we have anything worth it? A minor volcano. Well, I guess if we wanted to transport magma over, we finally could, and there goes with our geothermal power again. Anywho, so let's go back to our main planet. The other thing we would like to try to get going is our industrial sauna here. Now, in the comments, somebody had mentioned that my polluted water should just turn right into steam if I get this place hot enough. The other thing is it's going to be a minute. We have let this aqua tuner do its thing and circulate that cold, frigid water throughout this place for a very long time, but I have since taken care of that. Or perhaps it took care of itself now that I realize that this is gone. I don't remember destroying that, but you know what? I probably did, either by accident or on purpose. Have no idea. And then we should be finishing up this last little bit of hot rocks here anytime in the very near future, and that gives us the ability to use this space for more industrial sauna and just open it up in general. Who knows what we'll use it for? Could be anything, could be everything. So anyways, it seems like we have a lot to do today. So I want to get the petroleum boiler up and going. In the background, I don't know if I showed this off in the last episode, I'm starting to make a new petroleum tank. I'm probably just going to bring it straight down into this current one, but I destroyed a bunch of stuff and I want to be able to store as much of this up here as I possibly can. I may even bring this down and include this entire thing, but I was trying to wall off all of the abyssalite around it just in case one piece of it might have been too hot and all that kind of stuff. So I'm probably going to do that. I'm probably going to extend this tank down, and this entire area will be our petroleum tank. Yummy. That's what I'm talking about. Lots of petroleum. And then we can just let this sucker run, because we do need to get it down so that we can get back into this oil well over here. I want it to be at about this level, and that would make me pretty happy. And then I'd love to cut this off here, pump all that over, do all that shenanigans as well. So we may do that in the background as well. So quite a bit of little but big projects yet to do. Need to get them done in a timely manner. Like most things, I'll pop in and out as things get completed. I'll have to move this around, rejig some of these things. Unfortunately, we'll have this regolith here that will get harvested by our dupes and probably sent over to this area that we're trying not to feed manually, but it's still happening. I don't know. It is a thing. So yeah, few things. Oh no, our pip died. That's unfortunate. Is that our last pip? Oh boy, how old are you? 38? That is not good. That is not good. I could have swore. Oh no, we have another pip over here. How old are you? 15? Oh, you're just oh, there's another one there. Great. How old are you? 38? Yeah, got plenty of pips. Pips for days. All right. Anywho, so yeah, I think the first thing to really get done is getting this thing heated back up. I really want to try to get this place warm and toasty and all that kind of goodness. So I don't know why all this steel is sitting here. I'm hoping it didn't like melt. I can't imagine it melting. I mean, this place is only 113. Got some sand over there, but anyways, I know at least we know how to make sand. So I'll get some things kind of squared away over here. I think that cooling loop is now gone. That's the way that the cookie crumbles. We're going to focus in on this. I want to make a cooling loop with some radiant pipe that's running through here, helping to heat this place up as best as we can. But the first thing I think we're going to have to do is pump out all of the oxygen. We have a pretty decent mixture of oxygen and polluted oxygen and some other things here. So the reason it's got polluted oxygen is because of the polluted water that was here. But once we get the carbon dioxide to a certain level, that won't off gas, and I won't have to worry about that because we're up to 58 kilograms of this stuff anyways. So it might be pretty easy for us to just pump out the oxygen now and be done with it. So let me get a few pumps up here located, and then I will pop back in when we get this starting to pump out. And there we have it. A very complicated yet simplified way of getting all of the oxygen out of here. Now, we're filtering out the oxygen, and we will probably have to also filter out the polluted oxygen once we get that far. But we have 2,000 kilograms of oxygen to get through. This will take a minute. And, you know, we're getting more oxygen into the base. That's always a good thing. We're not over pressurized anywhere just yet, and I've got high pressure vents to do all of that good stuff. Okay, so next, what I would like to do is come over here and get some pumps, just a couple. We're not going to go as extreme as we did over there. Maybe just 4 pumps over here. We'll get those pumping out. I think this pipe, doesn't it go to space? It does. We may just pump that right out to space. I don't want any of this polluted oxygen in here if I can help it. So we will bring this across like so and pump that out. So let's get some power down here. Where is our nearest power line? I think we've got plenty of juice coming from there. So what we can do with our lead piping here, or lead electrical, sorry, is come across like so and pop into both of these. And that'll just, as soon as they kick on, wonderful. We will just let that vent off into space. right? It'll go up and around and through this convoluted piping. Oh, look at that. Look at that. I forgot we did this in the last one. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Wonderful. I love that. That is such a huge improvement. Anything worth getting? Nah. I don't want to take on any more dupes ever. Oh boy, we are getting full, way more full here than I expected to. I figured we would, I mean, we're using 2 of these guys on 1. I guess we are not using them nearly as what I thought I was. I'm going to put some automation here. I'm going to get a hydro sensor to stop. Oh, that's going to be under plumbing, isn't it? Yep. No. Hello, sir. Hydro sensor. Right where I thought it was. So we'll put this sucker right there and do a little bit of automation wire. You can make it out of copper, I think. Shouldn't be too bad. And we'll put that there, and then we will tell it to do its thing here in a minute. Don't want to forget about that. We have plenty of water here, so it's not like we're going to run out of any kind of water anytime soon. We're still pumping it from this location as well. There's quite a bit of water everywhere. Look at that. Our gases are already almost done. So what I wanted to do too is move this down. So I want to deconstruct this and let that water just pour right into this pool, and then we can have it being our kind of pool for good waters, not to be confused with bad waters. And then I'm thinking that we will probably expand our rocket ships to the left here. I mean, we can't go right, so that only makes sense. But yeah, once we get this kind of pooled up into here, nice and pretty, wonderful, we'll get that all squared away. Get it mopped up. Something is off-gassing. Is that oxalite? Dang it. They must have dropped it in there when they were supplying the ship, and I never noticed it. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's just deconstruct all of these and get all that stuff in there. Booyah. And then we can destroy all this and think about moving more rockets to the left. I'm thinking maybe 2 more rockets here would be good. I think we have enough steel for all that. I think maybe we have to find our steel before we can do that. But yeah, calories still looking good. Okay, so this is where we're at. How much oxygen do we have left in here? Just a little bit. Not that bad. These last little bits are going to be the tough parts, because they're going to be pulling the polluted oxygen too, right? Because all we're doing is filtering out carbon dioxide. And so, oh no. Oh, that's right. We're filtering out the oxygen. So once the oxygen is gone, I can start switching these over to the polluted side of things. But I don't want to sit there and have an exercise in futility. So what we'll do is we'll destroy this, mop this stuff up, and then hopefully we can get the polluted oxygen mopped up and out of here. That'd be, or the polluted water mopped up and out of here. That would be the best course of action, I think. So I'll get my dupes on that, and then we will start filtering out the polluted oxygen. The next thing to think about is heating this place up. I'm kind of debating whether or not I need to do away with this up here. If I drop this down in here, it's going to just turn into water, and then I'm going to have to deal with it at the bottom. So no matter what, I got to figure out a way to get this steam cooled off, but I don't want to make it to where I have to do some other stuff. So let me get this place finished, vacuumed out, and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, so I'm going to try my best to explain the thought that I'm having with this. So I need to heat this area up. So what I have done is I have looped around a couple of refineries in this area, basically to just try to heat this up the best that we can. Now, unfortunately, the only thing that we can run through this is steel, because I'm pretty much out of iron ore to process. I have tons of iron because of our volcano, I'm assuming, but I'm getting really low on just the metal ore there. The same thing goes for copper ore. We have actually a lot of copper ore. I guess we could process some of that as well. I think that we can't do any more gold amalgam because if I remember correctly, we've just about processed ourselves out of gold amalgam. So we have 82 tons of gold amalgam, but I would really like to keep a hold of that. I guess I could turn tungsten into wolframite, or wolframite to tungsten, sorry. That's okay. It generates a reasonable amount of heat, but I think that, I mean, copper really doesn't put out a lot, but we do have tons of copper. Maybe I'll run a few cycles of that and just let it heat itself up. So we'll start with a bit of copper. And what I've got going on here over in the pipes overlay, I'm just going to put these in here and fill the refineries up back down from where we got our petroleum. Now, I know that there's 2 water geysers here. And to be completely honest with you, I think we want to save those. So what I've done is I'm actually putting the petroleum into this tank here. Did away with what little slicksters we had. I'll probably get those guys out of here in the very near future anyways, so I'm not too worried about that. Then we can wall this up, bust this out, and it'll be part of the tank. But this is going to be the petroleum tank, and if I have to, I can actually drop this down quite a bit and include all of this. I just didn't because I didn't want to move these power lines. I'm just being lazy at this point. So that's kind of the plan. And what I can do, it's our line is still here. So all I really have to do to get this kind of going is I'm going to cut that, and then I'm going to pop that sucker in there. I think it's actually already hooked up. We'll cancel out all the overlays, and then we'll come up here and we'll get this ready to receive its good stuff. right there and right there. And honestly, if we get a little too much, I'm not too worried about it. It's gonna be fine. I'm just filling this up temporarily until I get what I need from it. So this should shunt up that all the way to the top here. I don't think that I have it connected, oh boy, anywhere else. It's a good thing I'm checking. I just have it specifically going this way. Man, all these pipes, we gotta fix the pipe overlay. I mean, the majority of this is still in pipes going up here. But yeah, that's just not it. But the thought is that this is going to just heat up all of this area really quickly. And then what we can do with the petroleum is we can, or with our, actually, we could probably do it. I don't know if we can do it with our polluted oxygen or polluted water here. I think it's overheat temperatures. Yeah, I don't know if we can do that. We'll probably have to do something like, we can use the liquid from this, and maybe I can sneak it off into a loop to just run a circle around here and just be nice and hot forever and ever and ever. But yeah, we'll see. I'm not exactly sure. The heating loop, as it may be called, is a great idea that I definitely want to try. Not really try, but use. I think we use the same kind of scenarios when we do our cooling loops. Why can't we run a heating loop? So I'll have like the heat come up here and then come down all the way into the ranches down here, and then probably just straight back up. I may even like snake it a little bit around these things because I know they're going to produce a lot of heat, and then zoop all the way out back up here. And it's just going to continuously be hot. I'm not going to try to cool it off unless I absolutely need to. And we will have like an aqua tuner up here, so to cool these steam powered generators off. And then as these produce whatever, I'm going to probably try to work some automation through here to try to snake off some water as we overproduce water back down into our reservoir or oil wells here, just because we're going to need water for them. But that was kind of the idea here, is this can kind of kickstart our water once we get to a point. I know it sounds like I'm asking a lot of questions when I'm doing this, but like I said, I've never made one of these. I'm pretty sure I can get it figured out, but as we can see, I've already made an enormous mistake here. Dang it. So let's go ahead and just cut that off, and we can get some of this over here. I think what I'll do is I'll cut it there, let that kind of fill up the rest of the way, and then I'll reverse that flow into that. Actually, we can let that finish off because it won't overfill, which is fine by me. And what we can do then is go ahead and just cut that, deconstruct these two, and go from there. So let me see if I can't figure out how much more of this we're going to snake out and go from there. All right, the refineries are full and ready to rock. They are just cleaning up the last little bits of things. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to say, I don't know, maybe 25 units of copper into that one. And we'll do iron into steel. Let's do 20 into that one. Hopefully I can get all those things in there. I know that this one has the iron ore, but I don't need iron ore, actually. I don't know why I did that. Let's put another thing here into iron, and we'll get all the iron into this. So I have been letting the kilns kind of just make some refined carbon. I mean, I didn't see the sense in not trying to start the heating up as it is. And there we go. We got really cold petroleum. Copper is not going to be the way to go, but it is already taking the chill out, which is what I want. Now, another problem that we're probably going to have is we're going to end up having too much CO2 in this. So that pipe that goes all the way to space, we're going to have to utilize this thing. So we used it to pump out the oxygen in the nasty oxygen there, but we're going to need this to get some of this CO2 out of here. I think we're going to have just a bit too much. Now, I believe that all of these tanks are now empty. So I'm going to destroy all of these, and there's pipes that go up through this area just because I don't need them anymore. The next thing, I do have that. Let's just destroy that so we don't make a mistake. We're going to let these natural gas guys go into here. I think that the best course of action would be to probably put a couple pumps like right here to pump out the CO2 when it comes available. So I don't want to go below like 4,500, I think. So I'm going to put 2 pumps like so. And I'm going to have these pipes come up and across. Nope, I'm going to have to go lower. I'm going to have to get into which pipe. It's going to have to be this pipe. I have that coming in. Oh boy. Coming in here, come down and across. Yes. Because do I need these other pipes? I do not, actually. They are just in the way. They're getting adios. Goodbye, my friends. Goodbye. You have parting is sweet sorrow and all that nonsense. We're just going to take out all of this actually and clean it up. Yes. That seems like a really good idea. You know what? You're all gone. All gone. Goodbye. I don't need you. You. Bye. All of that gone. Okay. Let's get this thing cleaned up a little bit. This is a good time to get our pipe overlay a little bit prettier. So like I said, this is going to be the natural gas that comes up. So this is going to have to be down 1. Or should I snake it right in between here and go above that? That sounds like a much better plan. So let's snake this sucker from here, right here, all the way to here. And then we will put both of these into that. Bam. and they will pump out a little bit of CO2 when it's necessary. So this pipe could actually get, well, we should probably do insulated on this one. Do insulated igneous. Yeah, that'll be fine. I can't see why not. So this will come down like so. I know why we went over that now. Let's not do that one currently. Let's go ahead and cap this off. This will be a good time to cap that off and get that where we want it. And then we can continue this igneous pipe, insulated. Let's see. I want to try to get it on this ladder system where it's out of the way. So we'll, oop, nope. We will bring it across here. And then we'll go up. Over again. No, we'll go up this ladder. Through the floor. And right into there. Boom. Easy peasy. Just like I wanted it to. And then we'll re-insulate this like so. And bring that pipe into that one. And it'll go up into here and it's done. Yeah. And then we can just deconstruct a bunch of pipes because we don't need them. This is kind of one of those things that I absolutely love about this game is that you have something, you make it, and then you get rid of it. Once your dupes are to a certain level, it's like way better when they have the construction skills like where we're at right now. All right. So we need to plug this in, but we don't want to plug it in yet. We want automation here. Now, automation has always been my nemesis. So I want a AND gate to control a sensor that senses when the pressure is too high here and here, kind of at the bottom. And then it's going to tell these two guys to come on. So if I go with an Atmos sensor here and here, and I tell it to send a signal, we'll go through the floor. Send a signal to here, send a signal to here, and then send out a green if, yeah. So if these two things sense over, I don't know, we'll start with like 48, and that'll be a good number. So if it's above 48,000 grams, to send a green signal. Yeah, I think that'll be good. What did we make that out of? Did I accidentally make that out of something? Oh, no, gold. Gold will be fine. Gold or gold amalgam. So it'll send a green signal if, and then if it does, then this will pump out to space. I don't have any reason to need it. How are we looking temperature wise? Holy mackerel. It's only 50 degrees. I thought it was hotter than that. That steel side is definitely getting hotter faster. Now, these generators are definitely going to need, oh boy, once we get the generators, we may have to put them up higher, like in the steam instead of in the carbon dioxide, because we're going to have the same amount of like 5,000, tons of steam just up here in the top part, because we want the steam to be, or the carbon dioxide to be right here. Like once we get past this point, I really don't want any more of it, to be honest. Oh man, our polluted oxygen came back, but that should be fine. We can make this, can these go behind here? They can. We're going to just do that number. That'll definitely help heat that up. I mean, it might take a while for these guys to shift that temp out, but I think it's about time to start running our heating loop, for air quotes. All right, so what are we going to make this out of? Gold? I think gold would be a good one. So if we do the same kind of concept of that we got here, what I think we'll do, we'll eventually use this, but we won't use it right now. So we'll go across here for now. jump across and put our heating loop like, what is this doing? Boy, I got so many pipes and things going all different directions. I don't think I need that pipe anymore. Let's just deconstruct. I know where this is going, and that's fine, but we can deconstruct that for now. But this has all got to go, because this was our old cooling loop that we had to cool down the steam power, steam turbines. So we can get rid of that for now. Go back to our gold pipe. And I want to come right up this direction. Bridge over, send bridge right over. And then the aqua tuner will be the thing that I've got to figure out where exactly I want it. We'll run it right on the edge, actually. That's a good idea. Run that right on the edge of those thermals. And if we need to, we can maybe do a little zigzagging. But I mean, with these guys pumping out a ton of heat, I don't think it should be any kind of problem. Plus, I eventually want these putting heat up in here. I don't really want, like, they'll just heat up this whole area so that if anything, you know, keeps the steam hot up at the top. All right, so the aqua tuner, though, that is gonna be a thing. So we are going to need utilities. The thermal aqua tuner is going to have to be here. I kind of would like it in the center. We'll put that guy there. Is he made out of steel? And then we'll have it just, we'll be having it loop, and we've already got our reserve of polluted water here, so I'm not too worried about that. It is polluted water, right? Yeah. So we have a reserve of polluted water. We're just going to have to bring it across here. I wonder if that's going to work. I don't know if that's going to work. But anyways, we'll insulate the pipe and do all that shenanigans as we always do. And then we can run finish our loop of hot across there. So yeah, let me get this squared away and I'll pop back in when I've got something going on or if something traumatic happens. All right, so our heating loop is engaged. So we will replace these little pieces here in a bit with probably some of this petroleum that's in here that's smoking hot. And we will let that kind of come up here and go down and around. It may not be a good idea to put it through the steam room, as the steam room is not as hot. And it may be a good idea to probably run that through here where our polluted water is going to be. How did I know how regular water got in there. Anyways, how we can probably run it down through here eventually. I think that would be a very good idea. Keep things hot through here. That way it's turning that steam into. I've decided to just do away with this, which means I can do away with this as well. We'll figure out another water solution for the oil refineries, or not, I'm sorry, the oil wells, the oil wells, when we get to that point. I mean, we've got plenty of crude oil to go through, a few thousand tons of it, I'm sure. So what we are doing still, just waiting for things to heat up. I believe it's going to take a little bit longer. You know, you can never have too much steel as well. So we've just kind of been pumping steel through here, trying to get this thing a little bit hotter and a little bit hotter. We're trying to get to that magic number where we're just over the boiling point. And this very well could start turning to steam. If this turns to steam up here just by using this petroleum that's going through, I think that would be a good sign that it's time to probably let it loose into everything down here. So once we get some things kind of buttoned up here, I think it'll be about ready to let it loose. I'm going to put a layer through here. That'll be the last thing we do to get everything kind of done. And then, yeah, I think I might even actually put a little bit of extra water in here just to kind of get it going. Maybe the aqua tuner can help steam up this room. I can try to work some shenanigans to cool. I mean, it's not actually too hot up here, so I don't know. We can maybe put some of the hot rocks in there. That would probably help everything out. Speaking of hot rocks, I haven't gone and checked on these guys in a while. But yeah, so I think that that might be a solution. We might be able to snake some from over here into that by making a little path and digging in here and doing some stuff. I don't know exactly how we can do it, but there's always a way if there's a will, and there is a will. Will. So let's let this finish up, heating up, and once it gets to temp, I think, you know, if I decide any kind of weirdness going on other than doing the refinement like we're doing, I'll pop back in and let you see what I've done. Okay, so a lot has happened and we are just about there. We are getting really warm in here, and I think if we just get it a little bit hotter, we'll be just fine. So what we're going to do now is we're going to transfer the heat up into here and get this room super steamy, and we'll try to get the steam up here hot, and then we're going to probably utilize these loops that we have going on here. Now I know that this is once again a piping nightmare, but believe me, I know what I'm doing. So yeah, it's basically going to come across here, go up and then down and then up again and down and then up here on the final side, and that should help out, even out this heat pretty reasonably, I think. I don't know. We'll go ahead and finish out last little bits of these into golden pipe and sever our connections here. We'll probably have to pipe in a little bit more petroleum, but that'll be okay. I believe that all we have to do here is pipe in that to that and that to that. I don't know if those are going to need to be ceramic first coming out of here. And as a matter of fact, I believe I will leave those as ceramic and change this one over to ceramic. So we'll let those first couple pieces just be ceramic just in case, and then we'll start running some steel through these and let this heat up this area. Oh boy, we are just about there. We are actually close enough that I'm kind of starting to get excited. I think it's gonna work out. Like, it seems like it should work. I don't know. This is just a mystery wrapped up in an enigma, as they say. So we're gonna connect all these pipes, and then we will sever it here, and then just sever it here as well, and then boom, boom, and then all of these pipes can be destroyed, and that should even out this heat pretty good. It'll grab a lot of the heat that's up here as well and throw in through the top. That's why I'm not too concerned as far as what it is that we need to do. I'm just trying to add in a little bit more petroleum to this loop, so that we can finish it off. I think that should be good. And these are all golden pipes. I didn't go with the aluminum. I don't believe that I had enough aluminum, to be honest, to get it done. So we will wait until this gets to just about the right spot, and then we will cut the connection. I don't think that there's any small pockets, but there could be. So we will let it go just a little bit farther, and that should get everything moving. Then we can add a little bit more on if we need to. Before I had to do some stuff where I emptied out a few pieces of it and all that jazz. It just was like a whole thing, and I was not very happy with it. But all right, let's start with 5 pieces of steel in this one, as well as 5 more pieces of steel in this one, just to get things moving and grooving. So yeah, let's see where we're at. Yeah, this looks like it's moving and it's pretty even. This is our last little bit of fill up. So what we'll probably do is wait for this loop to get around, and then we'll fill it back up. The aqua tuner has been off for a little bit, but the water, I was pulling it from our giant water tank, so it came out a little warm, but not quite warm enough. But yeah, anyways, once this thing gets kind of a little bit farther along, I will pop back in. I just wanted to kind of show you what things we've changed and updated. Okay, so it's been quite a few cycles, and we're finally at a point that I think that the temperature is good. The steam up here is at 170 C and 118 kilograms of pressure. I need to take some of that pressure down. I didn't want it that high, so I've hooked up one steam turbine to kind of bleed off a bit of steam. Oh, it's going the wrong way, but to bleed off a little steam to go up to our tank. If it's not coming from, where is that coming from? Oh, it's bleeding it back down here. That might be a good idea, actually. We should be able to bleed it that way. I don't know where. Yeah, anyways, we're going to bleed off a little bit of this steam, let it kind of do its thing. I'm not too concerned of it, but just to get it, you know, at temperature. Now we got this up to 175, which means that this petroleum in here is toasty, but this water is not turning to steam. It's at 104 degrees. Now, the only thing I could think of is that the pressure of the carbon dioxide is too high, and it's not allowing it to turn off into steam. So what I've done is I've lowered the pressure for this to be at about 4,000. Now, hopefully that'll work and that'll do it, but I'm not sure. I'm just waiting for this to pop into steam, and then I'll know kind of what this needs to be. Maybe it needs to be below 2,000. If so, oh my gosh, I would never have guessed that it needed to be that low. That feels like low to me. I mean, I know that for this to put out any polluted oxygen from the polluted water, it's going to have to be below 2,000. It's got to be able to do it in a normal atmosphere. Now, most of what we've got going on in a lot of places here is not normal atmospheres. So, and I have been experiencing some overheat damage in a lot of these. These guys, I'm probably gonna have to make them out of steel. Just because they're running right next to the pipes, I've changed a lot of the doors. All the doors here are now made out of steel, or, well, this one's not, but these are made out of steel because they were having overheat damage. And I think it's because I'm getting it a little too hot. So I'm worried that if I don't get this carbon dioxide out in enough time, I'm not going to be able to get the steam down, because I only want the steam to come down to about here. Really? Like maybe here. That's why I put these down so low. I didn't want it to suck out any steam. That's the last thing we really want. So the idea being that as soon as I can, and as soon as this is to a certain pressure, which I'll probably hook up a switch to this so that it kicks on to relieve the pressure when needed. And if I have to add a couple more to it, I will. But my thought is that we need to diminish this carbon dioxide so that we can let this turn to steam. Yeah, I'm not really sure. If you know, leave me a comment and let me know, because even the polluted water that's sitting on this tile, it still hasn't turned to anything. So, and it's getting pretty hot too. 104 is about the usual time that these things, I mean, usually around 90, it starts to flash into steam. But yeah, I'll keep an eye on this, and I'll pop back in when I know something's up. Steam! We have steam! Finally, steam. I don't know what this is. Dirt, lots of dirt. Okay, great. Why? Because, oh, it's polluted? That's fine. I can deal with that. Steam! We finally have steam! Oh man, that makes me happy. So the steam is coming out at 120 degrees. I mean, it's blazing hot. So I don't know. See, now I'm going to start. That's not good. So we're going to have a little bit of steam lost due to these guys. So I think now that we know where we're at, let's put it at, well, actually, I don't know where I'm at with it. How much carbon dioxide is in here? Somewhere around 3,500. Okay, so 35, whoop, not that. 30, darn it. 3,500 grams. We'll copy the settings over here and we'll just let it go. Now we're still trying to bleed off a little bit more of this steam, not too much more. We're getting close on that. And if I know correctly, what's going to end up happening is all of this steam is going to come up and stop up here. So what I think I'll actually do, I thought I cut the power to that. Did I not cut? Oh, I was fixing my power on this. That's what it was. I have it coming in two different directions. So yeah, there we go. So I want this to kind of even out. I want this steam to turn into steam, come up here, be steam, get this place all nice and steamied up. And then how are we looking at the temp up here? Yeah, we're still good on the temp. I'm not worried about it turning back to water, but what I am worried about is when I open this up, how much this will push that down. So I want this to kind of even out. I want all this water to go away. So I think what we'll do is we will actually extend this over like so, and we will get rid of this pipe, and then we'll bring it back over this way. And that way we can ensure that all of this steam is going bye-bye. And we'll probably have to deconstruct these because I don't think that the gold amalgam that we made them out of is gonna survive all that. So we will make those suckers out of steel and put them there, and we'll get that turned into steam as well. We can see the steam is already rising. Wonderful. And it is going to get, did I not deconstruct that? Oops. So yeah, once that gets done, we'll top off our petroleum loop here, and that'll be the end of it. So now that the steam is there, we are just moments away from cracking this open. I want to get this down to, I don't know, maybe like 50 kg would be good. Is there a way I could bleed off a little bit more? I probably could hook up a few more of these. I don't have any of these hooked up currently. So if I really wanted to, I could bleed off them all to one, like this maybe. Just have all of these guys temporarily going into one. Let's just do, well, you know what, whatever, it's one more. What does it matter? And we'll just keep an eye on this, and when it gets down to about 50 kg, that's when I'll crack open the bottom, and boom, we're done. And then we can get rid of this liquid lock, because I never really liked it there, but it's just there out of necessity, not out of convenience. So anywho, let me finish this off. Let me get some things finalized. Let's bleed some more of this off. And then when we start this and crack that open, that's when I'll pop back in. Okay, so the moment of truth. We ran a couple extra matches of steel through this just to get it plenty hot. The atmo sensor here only goes up to 20,000. So I'm pretty sure that this steam turbine is going to be kind of killing it for quite some time. There's nothing else that I need to get hooked up. This guy doesn't seem to be working. Don't really know. Oh, because he's not hooked up. Yeah, there we go. So they all should be spitting out their water there, which will drop down into this pit here. All of these guys, they're going to drop off their stuff here too. I'm actually, made it out of gold. Silly Addo. That's a mistake. Okay, now it's made out of steel. Great. So now we've got power going here. We're down to 45 on this. Oh, and our temperature generator idle below 125. Well, that's not good. Well, let's run some more steel through it. What do you say? Maybe 3 more batches on each of them. Maybe that'll do it. we're out of line. Boy, it just keeps getting better, doesn't it? You know what? Forget it. We're cracking this open. We're going to come in here. We're going to deconstruct as much as we can, and we're just going to let it rip. Boom. Let that carbon dioxide get pushed down. And then we'll start heating everything up a different way. So I'm going to go through and deconstruct every one of these tiles and then probably push this over a bit, maybe even get rid of one steam turbine. And that way it kind of, you know, my OCD is satisfied. Dang it, cut that wire. Anyways, I'm going to go through and cut this all out and let the dupes kind of be at it. And we'll go from there. Okay, so we have the generators running. We have everything in place. I swapped out the sensors for the pumps to be element sensors to detect carbon dioxide gas. So I'm hoping that that kind of fixes that problem. But yeah, so the thing is I kind of feel as though this isn't working quite like I expected it to. I expected the carbon dioxide to just kind of be down here, and these just have pockets of steam going up. I'm not sure exactly if this is working how I intended it to. But maybe it'll even itself out, or maybe I need to turn off a couple generators and be done with it, and let the plastic press do its thing. But yeah, I think this is a sauna or something to that nature. I mean, we have compressed the carbon dioxide over into this corner at 7 kilos. I mean, that is a lot, to be honest with you. So I'm not really sure if I have done it, but it feels as though I may have. I mean, without being able to produce any more steel, that is kind of a predicament. I don't know if that is going to be a problem. Maybe these generators will produce enough heat on their own to kind of fix it. But I mean, we're kind of getting some mixture of gases here, and I really did want that carbon dioxide to settle. But maybe I just run a couple generators at a time and let that kind of do its thing. I also installed a glass forge here, so you know, that'll add some extra heat here. That glass is coming out at 800 C. That's pretty fantastic. But yeah, I think that's kind of it. Also, we are clear on this stuff, so we will probably be busting into here and just getting ourselves some extra space. We have tons of water at this place, or at this point, and it's doing that funny little thing that when you get too much water into one place, it actually compresses itself down and then explodes back up. So I had to build up our wall here just a little bit to kind of fix that from spilling over like it was. We also, in the background, got all of the pinch peppers planted. The pips have been going hard at it, and I just put a couple of space heaters in here to kind of heat this up, and then got a regular old just water loop that's just going around in circles, evening out that temperature, making it nice and toasty in there. I've also been slowly going across here because I should have done this early, but I did not. Slowly been kind of putting tiles in across there, just making sure that we can insulate this a little bit better, keeping that cool and that hot away from each other. But yeah, everything's going. I also have the petroleum boiler is going. So as soon as this thing gets up to here, I have an automation wire set to kick that off so that it stops putting in stuff as well. We also have ourselves a slickster larva. So as soon as he hatches, he's going to go in here and help us out with our petroleum as well. So, well, it'll be crude oil at first, and then we'll get the petroleum later. But yeah, okay, so the other thing is I've built 3 rockets. So these are the Trailblazer modules. Now, for some reason, it was saying that I can't have the same amount of things on this one. It was too heavy already. I don't know. I tried not to think about it. So these 2 are going to be shooting off probably into space in the very near future. The other the big thing about it is we don't have anything inside. This has the two Trailblazer modules, and we'll probably rename them. I'll probably rename them to something more appropriate, like the 2 solar panel, 3 solar panel, and this one actually can just be decommissioned. But yeah, we'll have to get some fuel in it and all that kinds of stuff. But calories at 26,000, 2,600,000, almost 700,000. We're doing great. We'll probably be doing some natural gas up here to get the frost burgers going, because under the resources here, as you can see, the bristleberries, we got tons of kilocalories of that at this point. We also have a lot of pinch of peppers that are just collected all over, but we don't have any sleet wheat grains because I turned them all into frost buns. So we have a bunch of frost buns that we can use to make up our frost burgers, start feeding our dupes some frost burgers. Man, there's quite a bit that actually got done in this episode. So I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so you can be alerted anytime any oxygen not included or any other content that has been uploaded to the page. Check one of the buttons at the end of the screen to see what else we've been playing. And don't forget to keep gaming for the love of games. Bye now.